My name's Dr. Tom Fish, and I work at the Neishunger Center at Ohio State University, where I, about 12 years ago, was one of the founding members of the Next Chapter Book Club, which is a program designed to provide individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities an opportunity to engage in literacy and lifelong learning opportunities in the community through having a chance to read with friends and hang out in local bookstores, cafes, and coffee shops, to engage in sharing their ideas and their thoughts and their opinions about life in general, and particularly as it relates to stories that they're reading. When we first started talking about book clubs for people with disabilities, there was a certain amount of skepticism because people thought, well, these people can't read, so how can they be in a book club? So we began to think about what would be the best way to engage people in a so-called normal activity, and we came up with the idea that they would just they would read at whatever level they could, and they would get help from volunteer facilitators and other members of their book clubs. And so now, about 12 years later, we're at a point where we now have approximately 250 book clubs in all areas of the United States, as well as in Canada and 3 or 4 other countries around the world. And I'm constantly impressed by how, if people with disabilities are given an opportunity to do things and not told what to do, but rather engaged in a way that is fun and enjoyable and makes sense to them, they flourish pretty well. And so the book clubs are all about being in the community, having friends that you meet with for an hour every week, and also engaging in literacy, which is more than just reading. It's all about social communication, writing, other forms of communication where people can feel valued in their lives and not sort of under the microscope, and sort of this isn't a task that you have to learn to read. We talk about reading to learn rather than learning to read. So the book club experience for people with disabilities is quite natural, and we've gotten great response from the community as well, because we meet in bookstores, cafes, and coffee shops, and it's been resounding, the reception that we have in all of these types of settings, from people that work there, from people who hang out there. They just embrace our folks, and vice versa. And the other thing about the book club is that we have volunteer facilitators, and those are people from all walks of life, and they give of their time, an hour a week, and they facilitate the book club. But in no way is it their book club. It's the book club of the people that are members of the book club, and they decide what they want to read and how they want to read it. Generally, we read out loud, and we read oftentimes adapted classics, so that people have an opportunity to visit classics in their lives and to do that in an enjoyable way. And we read a page or two and then stop, and generally people talk about what's going on in the book, and it's often an opportunity for people to express how they feel in response to what's going on in the book and what they've experienced in their own lives. So we're delighted to have the opportunity to start expanding book clubs here in Saskatchewan, and we've been just thrilled with the amount of book clubs that have started here in Regina, and how they've done so well, and how they've been embraced by the community and all those engaged. So it's really it's heartening for me as the founder of the program to see how the book clubs are spreading and how they're impacting people's lives, and allowing people to have quality lives, and ones that are enriched by literacy and opportunities for lifelong learning.